Walk into a proper British cafe in 1974, and the first thing that hit you was steam, bacon fat, stewed tea, the window fogged so thick you couldn't see the bus stop. Nobody asked your name for a cup. Nobody spelled it wrong on a paper one. Today's chain cafes have gleaming machines and oat milk, but they've quietly buried 100 small kindnesses the old greasy spoon did without thinking. Before we count them down, hit that subscribe button. Here are 25 things the caf did that Costa never would. Number 25. They wrote nothing down. The bloke behind the counter took one look, nodded, and shouted it through to the kitchen without a pad in sight. 2 eggs, bacon, fried slice, beans, tea, no mushrooms 'cause you never touch 'em. He remembered your order because he'd cooked it 400 times. There was no screen, no ticket printer, no app pinging in the back. Just a memory sharpened by years of the same faces on the same cracked vinyl stools. Walk into a chain today and they'll ask your name, misspell it on a cup, and still hand it to the wrong person at the far end of the counter. The old cafe owner knew you took 2 sugars and liked your toast barely browned, and he'd have been mildly insulted if you'd felt the need to remind him. Number 24. The mug of tea never really ran empty. You'd get near the bottom, that last cold amber inch, and before you'd even asked, the pot was hovering over your mug, topping it up. No second charge. No. That'll be another £2.10. A brew in a proper caf was less a product than a rite of entry, poured strong from a battered aluminium pot that had stewed on the hot plate since before you arrived. In the 1970s, a mug cost a matter of pence, and refills were simply how things were done. The chains built an entire empire on the opposite idea, that every cup is a fresh transaction, every top-up a new receipt. The caf understood something they've forgotten. A warm drink kept coming was how you told a tired person to stay a while. Number 23. Bread and butter turned up without being asked. Order a plate of anything with gravy or beans, and it arrived flanked by 2 slices of white, thickly buttered right to the crust, stacked on a side plate you hadn't ordered and wouldn't be charged for. It was there so nothing on your plate went unmopped. That bread was part of the meal's grammar, as automatic as a knife and fork. Today you'll pay 90 pence for a bread roll listed as a separate line on a chalkboard, wrapped in film, served cold from a fridge. The old caf would have laughed at the idea of selling you the bread. Bread and butter was hospitality made edible, the quiet way a working cafe said. Here, fill up. We know you've earned it. Number 22. The griddle was never scrubbed back to bare metal. That great black slab of a hot plate carried decades of seasoning, a burnished skin of 1,000 breakfasts baked into the iron. The owner scraped it, wiped it, oiled it, but he'd sooner have sold his own mother than take a wire brush to that surface and lose the flavor built up over years. Every egg, every rasher, every fried slice cooked better for what came before it. Environmental health of the modern sort would have a fit, and the stainless steel chains sterilize every surface between each order. But ask any old cook, and they'll tell you the caf's greatest secret ingredient was the griddle itself, a living thing that gave back what 100 Sunday morning fry-ups had put in. Number 21. Fried bread was cooked in the bacon fat, not brushed with oil, not toasted and sprayed. Laid flat into the shimmering slick left behind by the bacon and eggs, where it drank up every ounce of salt and smoke until the edges went the color of conkers and the middle stayed soft and rich. It was gloriously bad for you and absolutely essential. A fried slice done properly was the crown of the plate, the thing you saved for last. No chain cafe would dream of it now. The fryers are sealed, the fats measured and audited, and fried bread has vanished from every laminated menu in the country. The caf gave it away as a matter of course, because chucking out perfectly good dripping was, to that generation, close to a sin. Number 20. The sauces lived on the table, and they were communal. A red plastic tomato that squelched when you squeezed it. A brown HP bottle with a crust round the cap you had to thumb off. Salt and pepper pots, the salt shaker with a few grains of rice inside to stop it clumping in the damp air. All of it sat there permanently, shared by every table, refilled from big catering tins in the back. You helped yourself with a generous, careless shake. Now you get single-use sachets you have to tear with your teeth. Or worse, sauce dispensed by staff behind a counter you can't reach. The old calf trusted you with the ketchup. It was a small thing, but it said this table is yours while you're sat at it, and everything on it is too. Number 19. They called you love, duck, pet, or darling. You were never the customer. You were love, or duck, or pet, or my darling, or in the right part of the country, my lover, said to a total stranger with total sincerity. What can I get you, love? There you go, pet. Mind it's hot. It cost nothing, and it warmed the whole room. The endearment was regional, ancient, and completely unself-conscious, the vocabulary of people who saw serving food as a kindness rather than a job. A chain today trains its staff to say your name off the cup and wish you a nice day in a script. The calf didn't need your name. You were love, and for the 10 minutes you sat there, you belonged. Number 18, cash only, and the regulars ran a slate. There was no card machine, no contactless, no minimum spend. There was a heavy till that dinged, a saucer of coppers by the counter, and for the faces they knew, a slate. Short this week? Pay us Friday, love. Don't fret. Your name went in a notebook by the till, and nobody thought twice. It was credit built entirely on trust, extended to the docker, the cabbie, the pensioner whose money ran out before the week did. Try asking a chain cafe to put your cappuccino on a tab. The old calf understood that money came and went for working people, and that a hot breakfast shouldn't depend on whether payday had landed yet. The slate was thrift, community, and dignity, all written in biro. Number 17. The full breakfast was served all day, no questions. 2:30 in the afternoon and craving eggs, bacon, and beans. Sit down. The calf didn't have a breakfast window that slammed shut at 11 o'clock. The griddle was hot from open till close, and if you wanted a fry-up at tea time because you'd been on a night shift, that was your business and nobody else's. This is perhaps the sharpest divide of all. The chains ration their menus by the clock, pastries until 11, hot food after 12, breakfast a strictly morning affair. The greasy spoon knew that hunger doesn't keep office hours. A working man might not eat till 3. And a plate of egg and chips at any hour was exactly what a proper cafe was for. Number 16. The portions genuinely defeated you. This is the first pattern break, and it's a matter of honor. When the plate landed, it barely had room for the pattern round the rim. 2 eggs, 3 rashers, 2 sausages, beans spilling into the tomato, a fried slice on top, mushrooms if you wanted them, and toast on the side you hadn't asked for. It was food to fuel a man doing 8 hours of hard labor, and it was priced so he could afford it every day. You left loosening your belt, not still hungry and eyeing the muffin display. Modern chains have shrunk the plate and inflated the price, selling you a brunch. For £11 that a builder would have finished before his tea cooled. The calf measured a portion by the size of the appetite, not the margin. Number 15. You could sit for hours over a single cup. Nobody hovered. Nobody left the bill face down as a hint. Nobody put a little sign on your table asking you to move along for the next sitting. You could nurse 1 mug of tea from 9 till noon, read the paper, watch the rain, put the world to rights, and the only thing that happened was somebody wandered over to top you up. The caf was a place to be, not just to buy. For the lonely, the retired, the between jobs, it was a warm room with company and no rush. The chains have their timers now, their pointed glances at the laptop crowd, their subtle architecture of hard chairs designed to move you on. The old caf let you stay because it understood some people had nowhere warmer to go. Number 14. The owner cooked, served, and ran the till himself. Second pattern, break, and it's the heart of the whole thing. There was no head office, no area manager, no brand guidelines laminated in the back. There was one man, or one couple, who owned the place, cooked your breakfast, carried it out, took your money, and knew your children's names. His hands were on the griddle, and his reputation was on every plate. If the bacon was good, it was because he'd chosen it. If you were a regular, you were his regular, not the company's data point. That's a relationship a chain can never replicate, no matter how many loyalty stamps it prints. The caf wasn't a franchise of a thing invented in a boardroom. It was one person's whole life, served with a slice of fried bread. Number 13. The windows steamed up, and that was the welcome. You knew a good caf on a cold morning by the windows, fogged solid with condensation, the warmth inside meeting the frost outside, a smeary porthole wiped clear by 100 coat sleeves. That steamed glass was a beacon on a grey street, glowing amber, promising bacon and heat and shelter. You couldn't see in, and you didn't need to. The fug meant the place was alive. Modern cafes are all cold glass and clean sightlines, air-conditioned to a neutral hum, engineered so you can be seen with your laptop from the pavement. The old caf's misted windows were the opposite of a shopfront. They were a curtain drawn round something cozy, a private world of steam that said, "Come in out of it, you'll be warm here." Number 12. There was a newspaper, and it belonged to everyone. A tabloid, usually, dog-eared and tea-ringed, left on the end of the counter for anyone to grab. You read it, you left it, the next bloke read it. The racing pages went first and came back last. Nobody owned it, and everybody did. The caf was where you caught up on the football and the scandal without spending a penny of your own. Conversations started over the headlines. Arguments about the back page lasted till your plate arrived. Today you'd stare into your phone in silence, and the cafe would sell you a copy from a rack by the till if it stocked one at all. The shared paper was a small engine of community, a reason for strangers on adjacent stools to become, for 10 minutes, company. Number 11. They'd turn anything into a doorstep sandwich. Want the bacon between 2 thick slices of white instead of on a plate? Done. Chip butty? Course. Sausage and egg in a bap with brown sauce to take out to the site? No trouble at all. The caf bent to what you fancied, because the menu was a suggestion, not a rule book. The bread was cut thick as a paving slab, a proper doorstep, and it held whatever you asked for, wrapped in a bit of paper if you were dashing. Try customizing like that at a chain, and you'll get a blank look and a, "We can't do that, sorry." The old cafe's flexibility came from having no system to break. It was just a bloke with a griddle who wanted you fed and happy. Number 10. The tea was strong enough to stand a spoon up in. Builder's tea. The genuine article. Brewed dark orange-brown in a metal pot, poured over a splash of milk, sweetened with sugar, you spooned yourself from the bowl. It had been stewing long enough to strip paint, and it was exactly what a cold, tired body needed at 7 in the morning. No syrups, no foam, no barista twirling a jug. Just tannin and heat, and a mug you could warm your hands round. The chains sell you tea now as a delicate ritual, a bag on a string in tepid water for £2.50. The caf's brew was fuel, poured properly, drunk fast, and refilled without asking. It tasted of the whole century of working people who'd started their day exactly the same way. Number 9. sugar came in a bowl, with a spoon everyone shared. A chipped bowl of white sugar sat on every table, sometimes gone slightly damp and lumpy, with a single spoon crusted at the tip that every hand before yours had used. You took what you wanted, 2, 3, 4 heaped, and stirred it in yourself. No sachets, no little paper tubes to snap, no packets to bin. It was trust and thrift in a bowl. Refilled from a big bag under the counter, it cost the owner almost nothing and saved a world of waste. Now you get individually wrapped sugar, brown and white and sweetener, fanned out in a caddy, each one destined for landfill. The communal bowl was of its time, unfussy and generous, and stirring your own was part of settling in. Number 8. Formica tables, melamine plates and cutlery that had seen it all. The tables were red or cream formica, wiped down with a grey cloth between customers, indestructible and slightly sticky in the corners. The plates were melamine, that unbreakable plastic that clacked when you set it down and never chipped, no matter how many fry-ups it carried. The cutlery was odd, mismatched, worn smooth by decades of hands. A fork with a bent tine you didn't mind. None of it was styled, none of it was on brand. It just worked. Forever. And it made the place feel lived in rather than launched. The chains spend fortunes on reclaimed wood aesthetics and branded crockery designed by a committee. The cafes Formica and melamine were real in a way you can't buy. Honest surfaces worn down by actual life. Number 7. Your egg was done exactly how you liked it. Third pattern break, and here's a bit of controversy. How do you want your eggs, love? Runny, hard, over easy, both sides, yolk broken, bit of crisp round the white. Whatever you said, that's what you got, cooked to order on that seasoned griddle by a man who'd done 10,000 of them. It was properly personal cooking, the sort a machine can't do. Now the modern hygiene brigade will tell you the old calf played fast and loose, the fat too hot, the eggs too runny, the standards too relaxed for a clipboard. Maybe. But the eggs were fresh, local, and cooked by someone who cared, not steamed in a bag and microwaved from frozen like half the breakfast chains manage today. You told him how you liked it, and he made it happen. That was the whole point. Number 6. The bacon and sausages came from the butcher down the road. The cafe owner didn't order from a central depot in an unmarked lorry. He walked to the butcher 2 doors down, or the butcher delivered, and the bacon was proper back bacon that shrank a bit but tasted of pig, and the sausages had a snap and a bit of herb because a real person had made them that morning. The whole street fed off itself. The calf bought from the butcher ate at the calf, and the money went round and round the neighborhood. Chain calves pull everything from one national supplier, identical in Aberdeen and Aylesbury, sealed and dated and forgettable. The old greasy spoon was woven into its high street, its breakfast a little map of the local shops, its flavor genuinely of the place it stood. Number 5. Extra toast turned up free to mop up with. You'd get to the end of the plate, a smear of yolk and bean juice and bacon fat too good to leave, and a slice of toast would appear. Mop that up, love, with no charge and no ceremony. The idea of a clean plate wasn't about manners, it was about not wasting a scrap of good food. That generation had lived through rationing, and leaving edible grease on a plate offended something deep. So the toast came, and you swept the plate clean, and the calf was glad to see it. A chain would sell you that extra toast as a side for a couple of quid, or not offer it at all. The old cafe gave it because the last mopped-up mouthful was, quietly, the best bit of the whole breakfast. Number 4. There was a radio on, and it played whatever was on. Not a curated playlist piped through hidden speakers. Not the same 40 songs a marketing department decided suited the brand. A little transistor radio on a shelf behind the counter, tuned to Radio 2 or the local station, playing whatever happened to be on, crackling a bit, turned up when a good one came on and down when the news came round. Sometimes the owner sang along, sometimes a regular shouted a request. The music was accidental and human, and it changed by the hour. Chain cafes engineer their soundscape to keep you spending at the right tempo. The cafe's radio was just a bloke's radio, on because the day needed a bit of sound in it, part of the furniture like the steam and the smell of frying. Number 3. The owner sat down and knew your whole life. He knew your missus had been poorly. He knew you'd lost the job at the depot. He knew your lad had passed his exams, and he asked after him by name. When it was quiet, he'd pull up a stool, have a brew with you and talk. Properly talk, not the trained how's your day going of a till script. The cafe owner was a fixture in your life, a witness to its ups and downs across the years, someone who noticed when you didn't come in for a fortnight. That's not a service you can franchise. The chains rotate their staff, train them to be pleasant and forgettable, and you'll never see the same face twice. The Greasy Spoon gave you a person who cared whether you were all right and meant it. Number 2, nothing went to waste. Yesterday's veg became today's bubble and squeak. 4th pattern break. The Sunday leftovers didn't get binned. The cold cabbage and mash from the day before hit the griddle in a flat cake, fried in dripping until the edges went dark and crisp, and landed on your breakfast plate as bubble and squeak, free or near enough, and better than half the things you'd pay for. That was the cafe's soul, really. The same anti-waste instinct that ran through every working kitchen in the country. Peelings, ends, drippings, day-old bread. It all found a use. The chains build waste into the model, chucking unsold pastries by the bin bag every single night. The old cafe stretched everything, wasted nothing, and turned yesterday's spare veg into one of the finest things on the menu. Thrift, it turned out, tasted wonderful. Number 1. When you were skint, they fed you anyway. And here it is. The thing no chain cafe will ever do. When times were hard, when the money had run out, when you were between jobs, when you walked in with your head down and empty pockets, the cafe owner slid a plate in front of you and waved away the mention of paying. Get that down, you. Sort me out when you can. No slate this time, no expectation, just a hot breakfast for a person who needed one. It happened quietly, all over Britain, in 1,000 steamy little rooms, because the people who ran these places saw a hungry neighbor, not a lost sale. That's the whole difference in a single plate. A chain answers to shareholders. The Greasy Spoon answered to the street it stood on, and on the worst mornings of some people's lives, it was the only place that said, "Sit down, you're all right here, we've got you." That was the Greasy Spoon. Not the food in the end, but the kindness the food came wrapped in. Try one this week if you can still find one, and tell me in the comments what your local cafe did that no chain ever would. Because we didn't just lose the fry-ups, we lost the people behind the griddle who knew our names.